slowly open your eyes.
I want to ask you about the commitment with ourselves. I always feel it's something that goes on growing and gets stronger. Can you say some words about that?
You know, I feel that the more you experience consciousness, the more you trust in consciousness. And when it becomes a force, it starts to become the only thing that's important. Because you realize it's the only thing that's real. That place of peace, that place of love, that place of awareness, that place which is eternal. And it's so beautiful to sit there. It becomes your favourite place. You know, before you have consciousness, you're always looking externally for fulfillment, for entertainment. And then you start to find this place with such a beautiful vibration, and you're happy to sit there when you're awake, when you're asleep. You know, at some point, you'll only experience that. And everything else will be on the surface. Even when you're sleeping, you go through a stage of dreamlessness, and then you get to a point where you're witnessing. You know, the body's asleep, but you're still present. You're still the eternal consciousness. And you realize, oh, that's my eternal self. That's my safe house. That's my security. That's me. That's my real truth. And of course, once you find that unconditional love of self, everything else becomes entertainment. But the commitment to that is the greatest thing you can have. I always say that consciousness is my only attachment. It's true.
I consider myself, I'm aware that I always create what I need. But I can see also that when I create something, I create the obstacle. And if you can tell me how to enjoy being creator without obstacles. How to let go of the discomfort to love. I'm receiving so much love and I feel certain resistance, certain discomfort.
Wow. So you want to create and you just want it to happen instantly. You don't want to process. You don't want obstacles. You don't want to grow. You want like the fairy godmother in Cinderella, no? Okay, well, I have a magic wand that I could sell you, and it's really good for making obstacles disappear, and it's also very good at finding Príncipe Azuls, no? You know, I can create them from rats and pumpkins and no importa, okay? But I only have one, okay? So if you really want it, you'll have to go into eBay because I've got it for sale there. So, I lied. I don't have a magic wand. But what I do have is for you to let go to your attachment of how it needs to look. Because you have a fixed idea. And what you perceive as an obstacle could possibly be the greatest gift you can receive. And because of these obstacles, you will open to receive everything. Because every time you touch an obstacle, it allows you to see more, to grow, to open, and not be so rigid in your desire. Because when you're so rigid in your desire, you're not open to receive. Because you have a fixed idea of how it should look. You know, it's like when the Príncipe Azul brings you the ring and he asks you to marry him. And you look at the ring and you think, oh, I thought it would have been bigger. No, I don't think I'll marry you. Do you see how you're putting a condition? Do you see what I'm talking about? You think I'm making fun of you, don't you? Because I am. The thing is, this is the problem with humanity. And this is the key to exigence. Nothing's ever good enough. Nothing's exactly how I want it. So I can't enjoy what I have because there's always something wrong. Oh yeah, it's great, but I'm a great creator. But. And there's no but. Everything is an experience. Everything is an evolution. Everything is for your growth. Nothing is for the goal. Because the goal is eternal. Because evolution is eternal. So they're not obstacles. You have to change the chip. It's not an obstacle. It's an opportunity to know self. It's an opportunity to grow. And it's the same in your emotional life. You just have to open more. You know, we have these boxes of how things need to look. And if it doesn't fit in the box, we think it's wrong. You know? And love's not like that. You can't just ship it back to Amazon, you know. You have to open it, look at it, and see it for what it really is. And see that. See that we're often very shallow in our perceptions. But if you look really deeply and you open to receive and you don't use your judgments as a way to push it away, you'll see you're always creating exactly what you want. So, what is the magic wand? Letting go of exigence, opening to say yes and to receive, and seeing the gift in everything that transpires. And often our greatest gifts don't come in pretty packages. They're very complicated packages. They're hard to undo. And you're not quite sure what you've got. But you have to go deep. And you have to see, how does this change me? What does this give me? Why is this for me? Because if it's here, it's yours.
Can you talk about the absolute responsibility?
You know, responsibility is knowing of self. To know yourself so intimately, to know your program so intimately, and to let go of those. And just to commit to that silence, that love, that greatness that has the capacity to take off masks, let go of attachments, and to focus on your own awakening, making that the highest point. And where does it start? Well, it starts with unconditional love of self. And that's a process, no? I take off my masks, I let go of my attachments, I stop attaching to my desires, my addictions, I focus on love instead of fear, I focus on giving instead of greed and taking, I focus on honesty, integrity, all the highest forms of love which come from consciousness. And this is my responsibility. Who I am being in each moment. This is what's important. What am I choosing? Am I giving? Am I empowering? Am I holding people up? Am I holding myself up? Am I empowering? And it always starts here. It's exactly what the commitments say. And I'm open to listen. This is the most important thing. And I have a yes. And I start to surrender instead of fighting against my reality.
My question is, I used to use a phrase like to decorate my friends, no? But lately, have been resonating that a lot. My question is, what is about when you say the truth will set you free?
The truth comes from within you. The greatness of who you are is your divinity, and that is your truth. And once you find that, not because Isha told you, or Buddha told you, or Jesus told you, or anyone told you, or your mother told you, or whoever, you have to find it. And the moment you self-realize, you're free, because you know who you are. And all the fear just falls, like a veil. And you see the lunacy of the human experience, and fear, and duality. And you realize you never left paradise. You were always here. Always. That's the truth. But it's only the truth when it's your experience. You have to find that. And that door's inside of you. You just have to unlock it. And bit by bit, as you're using the facets, you'll have glimpses of it, no? And you'll start to find it internally. And then there'll be a revelation, a reincarnation.
Yesterday I heard in Darshan you said that surrender destroys the illusion. And I can see that when I surrender, my ideas disappear a bit. Can you talk about that a bit, please?
You know, we attach to our ideas for drama, to fight, to defend our ego. Humans will fight about anything to stop themselves from opening to receive love. Why? Because they think their ideas define them. Because they don't know anything bigger than that. They think that this idea is who I am. What I do is who I am. What I've achieved is who I am. And it's all illusionary. It has nothing to do with who you are. And it creates a fanaticism. The bigger the fear, the bigger the fanaticism. And we've seen this throughout history. All the wars have been over religion or politics. Always. And they're always ideas, ironically, based in love and unity. The idea. But the reality, no. So once we start to question our ideas and they start to fall, we start to see, you know, I always say they're like stars. There's billions of them. But they're not who we are. They're just an idea. And they evolve and they change as consciousness, science, everything evolves and changes. But within, there's something that doesn't change. And when we start to surrender, instead of defending our idea, and we start to go in, we start to realize, oh, this is the important thing. Not defining how intelligent I am, or how important I am, or how knowledgeable I am, or how educated I am. We find this. And this is the same in all humans. Humans are not equal. That's an idea. Within the illusion, there is no equality. In order to have equality, everything has to be the same. And it's not. Everything is unique and perfect, but different. The only place where there is equality is in the house of consciousness. Because everyone is that energy, that peace, that love. And this is where we need to focus. So surrender always brings us back to this place. Back to this place. Back to this place.
My process of 6 months, one of the most important aspects that I discovered and saw is my living and feeling vulnerable. And today that I'm taking the commitments, within them is to recognize and commit with that vulnerability, and also with experiencing my own divinity. Can you talk about that a bit?
Okay, well, as your consciousness expands and you see that external fight, you can let go and go in, go deeper, find something more profound. Because the fight on the intellect is always superficial. It's on the surface of the ocean. And it's defending nothing. And if you let go and you go in, you find a profound deep that's free. It's beyond the movement upstairs. It's not the waves. It's not changing. It's permanent. So we keep offering everything back to the consciousness. Always looking for that space. I move my stress, I come back to the consciousness. And I recognize the consciousness until I get to the point where I don't even need to move stress. Because I choose to be here. This is what I want. This peace, this love, to be here now. So that's to surrender to consciousness. And that's your divinity, your consciousness. Huh? I think humans get shocked when I say we're not all equal. They go, huh? What do you mean? But we know that. Really? We know that. We're all different. All very, very different. And unique and perfect. But equal? No. We'd have to be Coca-Cola bottles.
In the commitments, there is a part that inspires me a lot, and it's the part that says to let go the attachments and addictions that give us a false sensation of illusory love. Can you talk about that?
You know, when you start to find internal consciousness, you start to perceive that everything's transient, no? Like we're attached to our parents, they get old and they die. Everything changes. We get older. We change countries, we change partners, we change jobs, but we keep attaching to everything. And you guys see this. You know, you're in one of those little rooms with your little bunks, and you think that this is my bunk, and these are my friends, and I am happy here. And when you move to an identical room with the same bunks, and maybe a few different people, all hell breaks loose. I don't want to, I like my matter, blah, blah, blah. And this is how quickly that we get attached to anything. Because once we become accustomed to it, we think we own it. And once we own it, then we want to control it. Get your foot off my bed. Why are you sleeping in my bunk? You see this, no? You see how you attach to everything. Because we have this idea that if I make something mine, then I'm safe. If it's mine, I am safe. Are you safe? Because of your bed or your bedroom? No. It's an illusion. But then we take it to a new level. And we attach to everything. We attach to our country. We attach to our family. We attach to what we eat. We attach. And we hoard. We keep everything for the memories. We don't even look at it. But it's there. You know, I've got it here, and at some point, I want to look at little Johnny's teeth. You know, and he's now 50. And you're going to go through the drawers and find his bloody teeth. No. Oh, no, don't throw that out. That's his teeth. It's so stupid. It's so stupid how we are. So we accumulate. We get divorced. And we're still attached to what the ex is doing. And we're still discussing it with everyone. And it's been 15 years. Do you see how you never detach from anything? Why? Because you live in the past or you're projecting into the future. But once you start to be here, in this moment, you start to enjoy everything. Everything. In this moment. And all of the excess and the past, you can let go of. And that doesn't mean you don't have nice memories. And you do. But that's all you need. You don't need all this rubbish. And we also attach to our ideas. And so often, those ideas were not even ours. They're belief systems. The minute you say, I believe, you know it's not true. Because it's not your experience. That's annoying too, isn't it? It's very annoying. Like, what do you mean? If I believe something, I believe it. You know, when you're 2, you believe in that man, you know, that comes and brings things. You believe. Yes. But you keep believing. You believe everything. And you have to start finding truth internally. So in order to do that, you have to let go. You have to let go. And you have to start defining yourself by what's here. So that is to detach. And also it allows other people to be empowered, to find themselves, to grow, to fly, if they're empowered, if they're not attached. You know, when everyone died in my life, I was attached to everything. And I left home very young, no? But I was attached. I was attached to the house, I was attached to all my family, even though I was fiercely independent. And I couldn't believe it. You know, you grab onto things as if they're life ropes. And they're not. And finally, I had to find security inside of me. Now, that was a hard way to detach. Just everyone dying. Losing all my money. Like just standing there, like, what happened? Like a lightning bolt hit me. It was hard. But I swear, that if it hadn't been like that, it never would have happened. Now, most of you are a bit more intelligent. You're working on consciousness. You're open to the idea of letting go. Lots of you are very young, and you have experiences, and you can change. You don't need to keep doing the same things. You don't have to attach to something because you love it. You can just love it and support it, but not suffer it. None of you are taking the bunks with you. I know you want to, but you cannot. And start to treat everything in your life like that. In this moment, this is important. But when it's not here, I don't need to be suffering it. I don't need to be suffering it. And that's such a freedom. And that's love. Love doesn't suffer separation. Because love always feels united. These are long answers. Long answers. I think the thing about the teeth I heard in a comedy show. And I thought, what a good example. And it's true, we do that.
Hi, Isha. My question is, why do we judge so much emotions? It happens to me with anger. And also I have the idea that while more consciousness evolves, I should have less anger.
That's just an idea. It's a judgment. You know, humans have emotion. And they come and go. And you have just started a process. Just started a process. And you haven't been doing it 100%. And now you are. And if you have a lot of anger, you have to move that anger because it's in you. And when you move everything, does that mean you'll never get angry? No. Does that mean you'll never cry again? No. So stop having an expectation of how it needs to look. Just love yourself unconditionally. And whatever happens in the moment is perfect. And yes, everything becomes intermittent, no? It happens every now and then. But when you're moving, when you're growing, the emotions are abundant and often constant. And the more you judge them, the bigger they'll become. But always remember, it's better that it's out than in. Yeah? Every time you're que bueno. I feel good. Oh, I'm never going to stop crying. Good. Good. Keep crying. It's the greatest thing that can happen. Because you are healing. You're healing. And you're planting the seeds of compassion. And remember that. All seeds need water. It's a perfect thing.
It's hard for me to take decisions. Always that fear to make a mistake. How can I take a decision and be calm with it?
You just have to do it. And be in the moment. And see this drama. I take a decision and then I think, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe it's not going to work. Maybe I've made a mistake. Why do you do that? Because it instantly takes you into a place of suffering. Instantly takes you out of the moment. Instantly takes you into the ego. Instantly causes suffering. Instantly you start to annoy other people, asking their advice. Should have I? Shouldn't I? What do you think? What does he think? And all the power that was behind the decision to put something into action has diluted until it doesn't exist. And you've already sabotaged. Do you see it? So don't. Just don't. Stop. Go into consciousness. Don't look back. Move forward. And that's it. Because you cannot make a mistake. You cannot. It is impossible. Everything is growth. Everything. Even if it's the worst thing that ever happened, it's growth. It's life. And you cannot protect yourself from life, because that's not to live.
I'm leaving next week, next Sunday, out of my process of 6 months, and my question is, how can I continue expanding my consciousness? Because I have like a fear of going out and getting lost in the outside.
Firstly, I don't believe that will happen. It's impossible. You've just done such an intense process. And you're an intelligent woman. And you have a support group. So this will not happen. But you know what's really important? Is the community of consciousness. Connecting, focusing on consciousness, communicating with each other, having support. When I think now, what happens with the facilitators, how powerful they are, how united they are, and how they're supporting each other to sustain consciousness, it's like never before. And everyone's communicating because of the Reds. And Annie's supporting everyone, holding them in their greatness. My teacher, she's doing programs. Everyone that's here is supporting everyone. So all you have to do is stay connected. Firstly, with yourself, and secondly, with the people you love, their consciousness, and look for their support. That's all you need to do. You know, it's like in the Matrix. Once you take that pill, I can't remember the colour, so I'm not going to... Is it the red or the blue? I can't remember. But once you take that, there's no going back. There's no going back. Because you know what it is. And you've been with me for 20 years. You know, I don't think you're going to get lost. I think we're going to come and find you, you know. So just trust. And look for support. This is what's important, you know. Consciousness talking to consciousness. Consciousness consuming consciousness. But from love, not because you have to. Because it's nice to have that connection. And people that will help you. Yeah, I think it's important.
How can I push myself more without being exigent with myself?
You know, there's not a must to do. There's a menace to do. Do menace. Go in. Just go in, go in, go in, go in, go in. It's the most important thing. And everything else that happens as a consequence is perfect. Oh, I need to express. I need to speak my truth. I need to let go. All those things happen naturally. If you're 100% focused and you have your eyes closed and you're going inwards, that's all you have to do. You have to let go and allow. It's not a goal-driven sport. It's not like that. It's the opposite. It's just going in. I go in and I discover. I go in and it reveals itself. I go in and the stress and the rubbish starts to leave. The story starts to bubble to the surface. I have consciousness of how I created my victim, my separation, and I start to choose what serves, what doesn't serve. But it's a gentle process. And sometimes it's uncomfortable, because it's uncomfortable to look at self. It's uncomfortable to see parts we don't like, parts that we've negated, parts that we didn't believe. And when we see them, we have to choose, but lovingly. Allow it to move through and go beyond. That's the process. It's a simple process. But it's uncomfortable. Sometimes it's very comfortable. Sometimes it's very uncomfortable. There's aspects of ourselves we don't want to see, because we have this idea. And there's aspects of ourselves that we don't even know. And they're so beautiful, so powerful, so wonderful. And because we've got so much self-criticism, we couldn't even see them. So there's nothing to do. Just go in. Or surrender in. More than anything. Listo. Gracias.
Come visit our webpage for books, movies, and our wonderful retreat centers. Isha's simple yet powerful system is transforming lives around the world.